Schematic diagrams part 1. In this video we'll take a look at the different types of schematic diagrams that you'll run into as an HVAC service technician. It's really important for you to be able to read and interpret schematic diagrams because most of the service calls that you will have involve electrical troubleshooting. Now the different types of wiring diagrams that you'll see are the pictorial, the point-to-point, and the ladder diagrams. Now, mostly you will see a ladder diagram. The point-to-point diagram and the pictorial are usually on the larger commercial equipment, but it does depend on the manufacturer which one or a combination of diagrams that you'll see. The other thing to remember is what we're looking at in this video are ladder diagrams that are representative of what you'll see, because each manufacturer has different styles and types of ladder and schematic diagrams, but they all work the same. So once you get it down, it's pretty easy to figure out. So the first diagram we're going to look at is the pictorial diagram. This is one that you'll find on a larger commercial unit that has quite a few electrical components, and the diagram shows the physical layout and the relationship of the components to each other physically. So in this pictorial diagram we have the compressor contactor, the indoor blower delay relay, the indoor blower relay, and the control transformer. On the diagram itself you'll see they're different sizes and a little bit different shapes, and they show the connectors, connection points. If you looked into the equipment itself, you would be able to see that the layout that is on the pictorial diagram is the same as the physical layout of the components in the equipment. The shapes and the sizes will be similar as well. So this is to help you identify when you look up and see 10 different items laid out on the top or in the equipment, you'll be able to physically identify which is which using the pictorial diagram. Residentially, you won't see many of these. In fact, I haven't seen any ever in a residential system because there's so few components. Ladder schematics. This is diagram you'll see in almost every piece of equipment that you're working on, both residentially and commercially, because it shows specific paths for the current to flow in electrical connections. So it is, and it's very simplified so that you can identify each circuit piece by piece, part by part, and you use this as your roadmap to troubleshoot. And it is the best troubleshooting tool that you have. It shows the interconnection and how the current flows through the switches to each of the loads and so forth. The one thing they all have in common, no matter which manufacturer, is the ladder diagram is divided into the low voltage half or side and the high voltage side, and it is divided by the 24 volt transformer. So on this side right here we have the line voltage with all of the motors and so forth, and on the low voltage side you have all of the control circuits, safeties, and so forth. Another thing to remember about these ladder schematics is different manufacturers have different ways of depicting these. So one manufacturer may have it laid out as you see here, another may have it laid out from top to bottom, left to right, bottom to top, and so forth, but they are all divided by the high and low voltage sides. Point-to-point diagrams show the interconnection between the components. It doesn't show you much other than where the wires go, how many wires there are, and where they're connected. You'll see these again on the larger commercial equipment schematics, but you will not see this in a residential piece of equipment. Alright, international wiring diagrams. This is for the NATE students and taking the NATE exam. It's important to know a couple of things about the international wiring diagram. First of all, the international wiring diagrams are called SI diagrams, and you can see that they're a little bit different than the ladder schematics and the pictorial diagrams that we just talked about. The one thing that you'll see is that the power source is drawn through the middle, always through the middle of the diagram, and the low voltage side in control wiring is on the top. The line voltage side or the high voltage side is always shown on the bottom of the power source. The international wiring diagrams were developed in an effort to standardize schematic diagrams, so when you open up a piece of equipment and look at them, every one of them has it laid out exactly the same with the same type of symbols that designate each component. Right now, each manufacturer is different, and it makes it confusing for most technicians. This is the end of part 1. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can send an email to me at hvactrainingsolutions@gmail.com.